Hello Aquarius, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy bringing you your March 2025 general reading. We're looking at the first half of March 2025 for the air sign of Aquarius. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like. And remember that these are general readings. They might resonate a little differently for everyone watching. So if you know your sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, it's helpful to watch those videos as well for additional perspective and insight. If something really hits home for you and it really resonates with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, or you simply like the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else, you can email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description of this video to also see that contact information. I can usually get back to you pretty quickly within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a lot of different reading choices, types, lengths, cost, styles, spreads, relationship compatibility readings, 6 and 12-month overviews. There's a little something in there for everyone, and I'm pretty diligent about the timely scheduling of personal readings as well. So if you're interested, please email me. Okay, Aquarius, let's dive in and see what the universe is bringing for you in the first half of March 2025. We begin with Judgment, the Hermit, the Five of Cups, and the overall energy for the first half of March, Aquarius, is the Four of Swords. So taking a step back, perhaps taking a step back from some kind of conflict or sadness or disappointment. This is a card about rest, rejuvenation, recovery, feeling tired, perhaps feeling worn out. And it looks like you're trying to get a different perspective and make a choice, perhaps a significant choice about something. It does look like there's some grief, loss, perhaps some regret here. Something hasn't worked out the way that you wanted to, or there's a sense of disappointment here. Always a bit of cautionary advice with the Five of Cups. It's good to dwell on things that we sometimes miss, or there's a natural process to grief, to loss, to the regret we feel about, well, I should have done this differently, or I shouldn't have done that. But only long enough to learn the lessons from it, right? To learn what we need to learn from it, to allow the feelings to pass through it, and then it's time to move on. Because this is the Five of Cups, not the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, the three cups here does represent whatever it is that you may be feeling bad about or sad about or regretful about. But there are still two cups upright and full. Now this can represent that there's still something to be salvaged in this situation, but it can also represent that by focusing on what no longer is, you can miss out on new opportunities, right? Judgment indicates that a lot of you are sitting kind of at a crossroads about making a choice, a decision. And this choice or decision could have significant, profound, and long-lasting, if not permanent, outcome on your life. It could change your life path. Judgment usually has kind of that air of finality about it, right? It's the final thing, right? In the courtroom drama, it's the point at which you go in front to speak for yourself, and then you get judged, right? Meaning that you're called to account for your actions. So judgment represents that whatever you choose to do, whether it's to stay on the current path, to stay in the energy you're in, or move in a new direction, that's probably going to set the stage for you for quite some time, so choose carefully. Often judgment is a call to do something different or to walk a different path, not always, but it does represent that, look, whatever you choose to do, you're accountable for it and you're responsible for it. But it's probably the path that you'll stick with for quite some time. So make sure to choose the thing you think is best for you. Looks like you're trying here. I mean, the Hermit, the Hermit is somebody who's learned their lessons. The light of the Hermit's, well, here it's a staff, and other decks it's like a lantern he's holding up. Sometimes he's sitting, sometimes he's in motion. But the light is symbolic for the wisdom that the Hermit has. The Hermit has the wisdom that he has because of the path that he or she has walked. They've succeeded, they've failed, trial and error, they've learned a lot. So that the point they're at now, they use their wisdom, they use the lessons that they've learned, their successes, their failures, everything they've learned on that path. And they use that knowledge, that light, to light the way in front of them so that they can avoid pitfalls, they can avoid making the same mistakes they did in the past, right? It may be for some of you that you gave a situation a second chance, a third chance, a 10th chance, but here you're like, perhaps there's a sense of reconsidering and perhaps making a decision to do something different or making a decision to remove yourself from a situation. So let's unpack it a bit, because the Four of Swords can also indicate, a sense of exhaustion, a sense of weariness, a sense of, taking a break. Let's take a look at that. The Five of Wands, the Devil, and Justice. I mean, the Five of Wands is conflict, internal conflict, external conflict, everybody vying for control, everybody wanting to be king of the mountain, everybody wanting to have the last word, wanting to be one up on everybody else, the same thing over and over and over again. Can also represent internal conflict as well. With the Devil, sometimes this can signify arguments, fights, not either pretty significant fights or just really unpleasant, and it just goes around and around and around and around. It's like the same cycle, stuck in the same cycle. But yet you keep getting pulled back into that, because the Devil always has that bit of temptation in it, something that, that it knows that we're sensitive about, and so it keeps pulling us back in. Justice can, this can represent that you feel wronged here. It can represent, again, people just needing to be on top, needing to be right. I don't know. It's a general reading, so the specific details and intensity will vary, but it's like you're sick of it. It's like you're just sick of it. You're sick of being part of it. You're sick of being drawn back into it over and over and over again. Which makes sense that we have Judgment here. We're going to take a deeper look at Judgment, because Judgment is, I think it may be time to make a pretty big choice here. We have the Star, which is renewal, restoration. It usually comes after something very difficult has happened. The Ace of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. So you have a new perspective, a new idea, a new information. This is kind of a sort of a breakthrough sort of card in terms of mental clarity. You see a path where you can walk step by step in a way that brings a sense of renewal and restoration to your life, or at least this is something that you are considering. Let's take a look at that Hermit. What this Ace of Swords is, what this breakthrough and mental clarity, I mean, it's going to vary because this is a general reading. This can be a path through this conflict. It can be a path away from this conflict. It is, for whoever is watching this video, it is whatever that kind of epiphany or light bulb going off in your head said, look, there's a new path I can walk here. There's an alternative thing that I can do here. Let's take a look at that Hermit. Two of Cups, the Hermit, the Ten of Wands. I'm going to pull one more. The Three of Pentacles. So there's obviously a partnership here, which makes sense with that conflict card. Perhaps a pretty close partnership here. Now, there's two different ways that you could read these cards. You could read them as, Again, the Hermit is careful thought and consideration, considering the wisdom and experience that you've had. It's obviously time to lay a burden down because this can't continue anymore. The Ten of Wands is the end of the rope, like feeling completely overwhelmed. I have to get rid of this. This has to be lightened somehow. And the Three of Pentacles is a card of teamwork and collaboration, but it can sometimes be an energy of mediation as well. So again, I can read this two different ways. This can be either there's a breakthrough and how can we compromise and negotiate on this situation in order to move through it. But this could also be for some of you that it might be time to start sitting down and mediating how you can take a break or separate yourselves from each other in this situation. And that separation can be something permanent like divorce, or it can just be like a trial separation. What I am seeing here is the desire for the fighting to stop, a desire for the conflict to stop, and having an idea, kind of a breakthrough on how that can happen. It's just that this is a general reading, so it's going to be personal to those of you that are watching it that this makes sense to. It's whatever that breakthrough in your mind. It might be taking a trial separation, might be just separating completely. It might be that you found a way to compromise and negotiate where you can still continue working together towards the same things, or being able to come into alignment on what's important to you and how each of you can work together to achieve that. Now, for some of you, this might not be about the relationship itself. It might be in another area of life, a different subject, work, career, something like that. It might be in another area of life, but one that is having a significant and negative impact on the relationship. And it's time to come to, regardless of what this repeated cyclical, unhealthy, toxic conflict is, there is an idea on what to do about it, and it's about moving through that. It may require help or mediation from a third party as well, and that can be anything from an attorney to a therapist or a combination of both. Let's take a look at that Five of Cups. The Lovers, significant choices about the connections and relationships we have. Page of Swords and Eight of Wands. So it's pretty clear here that pretty quick, decisive action needs to be taken. Again, because this is a general reading, whatever that action is going to depend on what your situation is and what mental breakthrough you've had. What Spirit is supporting here is the new idea and the new perspective you have, whether that's a way to negotiate together moving forward, or perhaps negotiating a way to walk a separate, different path. For those of you for whom it's about a different area of life that's having a negative impact on relationship, it's about the two of you coming together and making an informed and healthy decision to have a new start, to have a new beginning, perhaps to set some boundaries around work life or look at a different job or something of that sort. Advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. Seven of Pentacles. What's going to be helpful for you to consider is to consider what to do with the resources that you have, with the blessings that you do have, and asking yourself, okay, what do we want to do moving forward? This is how much we have built up in this. This is how much time and history I have invested in this situation. What do we want to do with it? It may be time to make a decision to walk away from whatever the source of the conflict is. Even though it looks like you have quite a strong history, quite a long history, or quite the bond with it. And again, the outcome or the answer here, because it's a general reading, is going to vary. But for those of you for whom this reading is going to make sense and resonate with, it's going to be about whatever that breakthrough is for you, that new perspective, that kind of, you know what, this is the path forward I think is going to work. And it's about following that, because whatever that is for you, it's one that Spirit supports. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. Those are your messages for the first half of March 2025. And for those of you for whom this made sense and resonated, I hope that it was helpful or clarifying or validated, what you're already thinking about, right? So if it did, for those of you for whom it did resonate, if you'd like to pull the curtain back on it a bit and take a deeper look and reach out for a personal reading, or you simply like the reading style, or both, you can email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact information also by clicking on the description of this video. I would be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a little while for the next set of readings, general readings. Until then, stay safe, be well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.